Breaking words apart, and also a few riddles thrown in there. Bodwe wad mimwin riddles. Okay, so your first riddle. Nijetso de buganak il p wadapage jeep deb dot e squaquachkin. One more time. Nijetso de buganak il p wadapage jeep deb dot e squaquachkin. What time is it when an elephant sits on a fence? One more time. Nijetso de buganak il p wadapage jeep deb dot e squaquachkin. Okay, so that's the first riddle, and we'll answer them on the next page. And if you think you know what it is, just write it down. You can see if you got it right when we get to the next page. Okay. Nene bidik wudaye o dabian, egi wabduk e zau squadam, shonyawabak squadam, mina squabak squadam, nijaye squadam netum ga bak badot. One more time. Nene bidik wudaye o dabian, egi wabduk e zau squadam, shonyawabak squadam, mina msquabak squadam. Nijaye squadam netum ga bak badot. Okay, so what does this say in Chmokman Moen? So nene, man, bidik, inside, wudaye, he or she is, o dabian, a car, egi wabduk, and he or she sees, zau squadam, a yellow door, shonyawabak squadam, a silver door, mina msquabak squadam, and a copper door. Nijaye, which, squadam, door, netum, first, ga bak badot, does he open. So what door does he open first? So one more time. Nene bidik wudaye o dabian, egi wabduk, e zau squadam, shonyawabak squadam, mina squabak squadam. Nijaye squadam netum ga bak badot. So which door does he open first? Okay. The third riddle here. Weknija bok badoyin bawamshe eyoyin. Weknija bok badoyin bawamshe eyoyin. What do you break before you use it? Weknija bok badoyin bawamshe eyoyin. So what do you break before you use it? So again, just write your answers maybe down to the side and to see what you come up with. And here in just a second, we're gonna answer that for you. So here we go. Odajo P. Kadana'ikan. Time to fix the fence. So what time is it when an elephant sits on your fence? Odajo P. Right now. Kadana'ikan. You're going to need to fix it. It's time to fix the fence. Okay, the second one we had Zau Squadam, yellow door, Shonyawabak Squadam, silver door, Mshquabak, copper door that this guy saw when he was inside the car. What door did he open first? Dabian Squadam, the car door. He has to open the car door. Dabian Squadam. Remember, he was inside, Bidik. He was inside the car. That next one was Weknija Bak, let's see, Bokbadoyin Bawamshe Eyoyin. So what do you break before you use it? The answer, wow, an egg. Wow, an egg. Okay, another couple riddles for you guys. Nene Gashk Bazo Megwetsit Game gizget nesje megwa mishdonet. Nije ejwebuk. Nene gashkbazo megwetsuk game gizget nesje megwa mishdonet. Nije ejwebuk. So a man, he shaves several times every day, but he still has a beard. What's happening? Nene gashkbazo megwetsuk game gizget nesje megwa mishdonet, nije ejewebuk. What's happening? Okay, your next riddle here, riddle number Nianan, number 5. Gunwa e peach wishquayak mina dagwa e peach getteyak. Weknesia yawak. So what is something that is long when it's long when it's new, and it's short when it's old? Weknesia yawak. What am I? So genwa e peach squayak mina dagwa e peach getteyak. Weknesia yawak. So write down what you think that is for your 5th answer and see if you get it right. Something that's long when it's new, and it's short when it's old. Weknesia nequebdoyen nestja bawa pugdoyen. Weknesia nequebdoyen nestja bawa pugdoyen. So weknesia, what? Nequebdoyen, what do you catch? Nestja, but bawa pugdoyen, but you don't throw. Weknesia nequebdoyen nestja bawa pugdoyen. Weknesia nequebdoyen nestja bawa pugdoyen. So again, guys, go ahead and write down what you think the answers are to these. See if you got them right. See if your neighbors got them right, if your classmates got them right. So try them out there, and we're going to have the answers in just 1 second here. Kashkowet or moshwaunane. So the answer to that first one, the question was, how is it that you can shave, or there's a man who shaves several times a day, every day, but yet he still has a beard. What's happening? Kashkowet or moshwaunane. He is a barber. And the next question was, what is gunwa epich wishquayak? What is long when it's new? Mina tagwa epich getteyak, and it's short when it's old. The answer, waskoninjiganatuk, a candlestick. Waskoninjiganatuk, a candlestick. That next one was wekneja nequebdoyen. What do you catch? Nestja boa pugdoyen, but you don't throw. Wekneja nequebdoyen nestja boa pugdoyen. What do you catch, but you don't throw? Tekedjewin or ketchkornowin, a cold. You catch a cold, but you don't throw it. So there's just a few little fun riddles to start stuff off. Today we're going to talk a little bit about breaking words apart and kind of what the parts of the different words actually mean. Wekneja etot weebten nestjaboa jaja gwajamguk. So wekneja etot weebten nestjaboa jaja gwajamguk. What has teeth but it doesn't chew? Wekneja etot weebten nestjaboa jaja gwajamguk. So think about that for a little bit. What has teeth but doesn't chew? Okay, riddle number Schwatzo, number 8. Peneshanatem get nigan iguan mina chowika squayak, weknesia yawak. I am always in front of it, but I'm never behind. What am I? I'm always in front, but I'm never behind. What am I? Peneshanatem get nigan iguan mina chowika squayak. Weknesia yawak. Okay, riddle number Shak. Nizawanak nedeton mina nishtagwan neshchibuato yan niao. Weknesia yawak. I have a tail and a head, but I do not have a body. What is it? Nizawanak nedeton mina nishtagwan neshchibuato yan niao. Weknesia yawak. So again, maybe write these down and see what you can figure out. If you can figure out what they are, maybe you can get it before your classmate can get it. See if you can figure those out, and then see what you came up with. So number Noak. So what has teeth but doesn't chew? Banakwan, a comb. Banakwan. So what is always in front but never behind? Number Schwatzo. Nigan Jiaguan, the future. Nigan Jiaguan. And finally, let me think what the last question was. What has I have a head and I have a tail, but I do not have a body. What am I? Shonyas, a coin, shonyas. Okay, these are some parts of words, parts of verbs. And when you start to see these and you start to recognize these, you can hear verbs that you've never heard before and you can make an educated guess about what they might be talking about. Whenever you see that BME, or sometimes it's BMA, but BME, it means like going by. So if you think of the word like bumupto means to run, but literally it means to run by. Bamose is the verb to walk, but literally it means to walk by. Bamose, kind of mosey by, bamose. Bamode is to crawl by. It has that BM. Now when you see a ba or a pa on the front of a word, and sometimes it's written like BBA, but that still just sounds like ba there. It means kind of around. So maybe like you're walking around, you could say, I was walking around yesterday. You could say, Nago Nagi Babmose. I was walking around yesterday. So just kind of going about doing it, or maybe you're hanging around somewhere. Ba Deneze. And Putcha or Butcha is something accidental. So accidentally doing something. So maybe you accidentally fell down. You could say Putchashin. I accidentally fell. Or you could say Nepuche Kiki Chnuke accidentally hurt my arm. But again, butcha or putcha. That if you see that in the front of a verb, it kind of indicates something was done accidentally. So like nigi putcha kikto, I accidentally talked, or nigi kutcha or nigi putcha kid, I accidentally said something. Patak is to bump into something. Patak. So if you say like patakshkan is like to bump into an object with your body. Patakshkan. Opto or opta is half. Opto or opta is half. So if you say like optimukwi would be like a $50. Optimukwi. Mukwi is $1, so half of one. Optagijik, half the day. Optagijik. And then ach, if you see ach on the front of something, it indicates changing something. So if you say like achton, I changed it. Nigi achton, I changed it. Akwak is something is dry or hard. Akwak. Ano, something unable to do. You're not able to do it. Ano. Apcha, intensely or really. Apcha. So if you said like nigi apcha yaknoge, I was really sick. Or nigi apcha shen, I really fell down hard. Could almost indicate like you died from, like the person died, apcha shen, when they fell. Anwab, something is unsatisfactory to the sight. Anwab. So like anwab dan e dop, when that table is unsatisfactory. Anwab. Aswak is something's leaning. Aswak. If you said aswaksen, it would be like it's leaning against something. Aswaksen. Maybe the chair's leaning against the table. So you could say jeepdebwen aswaksen e dopwen. The chair's leaning against the table. Aswak. Atwa indicates something is backwards or turned over. Atwa. Atwa. So if you said atwashin, would be like to fall backwards. Atwashin. Ayach is gradually. Ayach. So like if you could say like ayach benachto or benacha, it gradually deteriorate. Ayach. Yao or ow indicates a lot of times hauling something. So like outdone, to haul something. Even the word for like a cab driver has that yao na inside of it. So to haul something. Ate is to extinguish or put something out. Ate. Ate bedon is like to turn off the lights. Ate bedon. Ate nagwet means it looks like it's out. Ate nagwet. Ajo or ajwe is across. If you say ajo gami, like across the ocean, or if you say ajo iguan, just across to a certain direction, ajo iguan. Ajde is crossed, like maybe your legs are crossed. Ajde, or maybe there's a intersection where the roads cross. Ajde. Zag or sog is out, so like zagich is outside. Zagich. So if you said zagijase, would be he or she is walking outside. Zagijase. If you say zagton, it'd be like to dump something out. Zagton. Zagki is like the word that we use when talking about like something is blooming. Literally, it's coming out of the earth. Zagki, it's like a bud kind of coming up. Zagki. Num indicates leaving. Num. If you said like num mazo, it'd be like leave singing. If you said num se, it'd be like walk away on foot. Num bato, to run away. Num bato. Nisit indicates to recognize something. So if you said nisit wab ma, it'd be like to recognize somebody by sight. It's like you recognize them, but maybe you don't know their name. Nisit wab ma. Nisid tagwaze would be like to recognize the sound of somebody. Maybe you recognize their voice. Nisid tagwaze. Or maybe you just recognize the kind of the way they walk, so you hear them coming in. Nisid tagwaze. Nistatone is like to understand. It's kind of related to that word. Zam is too much of something. Zam. So like zam gajat tam get, it's too hot. Zam gajat tam get. Zam guame, to oversleep, to sleep too much. Let's see. Zam nagi zam wisen, I ate too much. Nagi zam manakwe, I drank too much. Really, you could add that zam to just about anything. Nagi zam mikchui, I worked too much. And then shkad or nshkach indicates mad or angry. Nshkad or nshkach. Nshkadze is just your general word for mad, but you could say like nshkach nagwaze, he or she looks mad. Or nshkadse, he's walking up, or nshkad pato, he's running up mad. Bean indicates clean. Bean chige is the verb to clean something, just to clean. Bean chige, that chige indicates kind of like doing something. Ween indicates dirty. Ween chige would be to dirty something up. That'd be a verb of it form. But that bean could be on a number of words. You could say like beana, clean somebody up, maybe maybe a baby, maybe clean their diaper, or wiping a child's face. Beana. If you said binya, would be just like it's clean. Binya, binyam get. Maybe you're talking about like a room or a table, a desk, whatever. It's clean. Binya. If you said bin jawin, would be like clean water. That jawin is like water flowing by, so bin jawin, clean flowing water, maybe like a spring or something like that, or like a mountain stream. Bin jawin. And then the ween, you could do the same thing with all those. You could say ween don, to dirty something in particular. Ween ya, it's dirty. You could say ween nagwet, it looks dirty. You could say ween jawin, like a filthy or maybe polluted water flowing by. Ween jawin. Bead indicates inside, like bidge is the verb to come inside. If you said bidan quet, that would be a well, no, that's a bad example. Biduk is inside. Biduk. So bead can indicate inside. Bakan is different. Bakan. So like bakanze, he or she is different, or maybe they're unique. Bakanze. Bone indicates to stop. So you could put that on. You could say like bon mik chui, stop working. Maybe like retire. You could say bon wisen, stop eating. Bon shkadze, he or she has stopped being mad. So anything you want to add with bon. Kwansug is like intense or intensely. Kwansug. Nisugwe is like hair. So if you say like nisugwe is like a brush. Shpa is like up or upwards. Like shpamuk is up above. Shpamuk. Shpades chagadek would be like a balcony, a deck that's above you. Sag or sag is like sprain, so like sagzadeh would be like sprained foot. Sagged, maybe netche, sprained hand. Netta is something that you're talented or skilled at. Netta. So maybe like you're a really talented hunter. Netta giose. He or she is a talented hunter. Netta giose. Netta nebiege. He or she is a talented writer. Netta wajanda. He or she is a talented cook. You know, anything you could add that to. Netta, talented or skilled. Ndo is to try to do something. Ndo, so maybe like I'm trying to leave. Ndo maji, or ndo kenomage, I'm trying to teach, or ndo. Kitche indicates really or big. Kitche. This can be used on a noun or a verb. Kitche, like kitche Kitchum Cook, a big box. Kitcha Jimon, a really big boat. Kitcha Wigwam, a big house. Kitchum Ko, a bear, a big bear. Kitchum Tuk, a big tree, etc. When you have a j or an in on the front of a verb, a lot of times it indicates in a certain way. So like nadze would be like to think in a certain way, nadze. Jinkazo, he or she has named or called it something in particular or in a particular way, jinkazo. Gin indicates sharp, so like ginyam get I koman, that knife is sharp. Ginyam get I koman, or ginze, something animate that's sharp. Ginze. Mach indicates movement, and then maji is like to start or leave. If you say maji badon, like turn it on. If you say like maji by itself, can just be like leave. If you say like maji bisa, it's starting to rain, maji bisa. Or that can also indicate like the rain's kind of moving out, maji bisa. Web, start, web. So webta, it's the verb to start. Like you said, web mikchui, he or she is starting to work, web mikchui. Mok indicates emerging or becoming visible, mok. Mokse o gizis, the sun is visible or kind of comes out, mokse. Nan indicates thinking, nan, so like nendum, to think, nagdawindum, to think deeply, things like that. Remember now, all of these are particles or they're preverbs, or they're the front ends of words, so they can't be used by themselves, but they're often attached to a verb to indicate these various things on the verb, so keep that in mind. P10, like a type of value. Tipindag was a, he or she is valued a certain amount. P10 don, it's I value it a certain amount, or I price it at a certain amount. Debege, it measures out to, debege. You could be talking about like measurement, like could be like time, it could be like miles, debege. Weech or weed indicates a company or going with, weech or weed. Wab indicates sight or visibility. Wab is sight or visibility, like wabma, to see somebody. Kikich is something's achy, and you can attach that to different body parts to indicate like, you can say like nakikich pakwane, my back aches, nakikich pakwane, or nakikich neche, my hand aches, nakikich nukke, or you could say nakikich nukke, my arm aches. Kebad or kibach is like silly or goofy. Kebad or kibach, silly or goofy, like kebad mo, like telling silly stories or goofy stories. Kishk indicates like cut off. So if you like gishkton, like to cut something off. If you said like gishk jowen, jowen is that flow of water, that would be like water kind of cutting off and kind of dropping. Gishk jowen, like a waterfall. Gishk jowen. Gano or gunwa is something long. Wog indicates something curved or crooked. Tak is something naked or something kind of cleared off. So like if you said tak zede, it'd be like barefoot, or you don't have anything on your feet. Tak zede. If you said tak nukke, it would be like literally like your arm is naked, so it'd be like maybe your arm is exposed, maybe you got like a cut off on or something. Tak nukke. Gaji indicates cleaning or rinsing or wiping. Gazi nagane would be like do the dishes. Gazi big she, like take a shower. Gazian is to wipe something. Jig indicates something's close or nearby. Now here's some finals. Now these all end up on the back end of verbs. So that first set of stuff is all stuff that you'd see at the front or maybe a little bit more in the middle of a verb to indicate parts of things that are happening. These finals, these are things that you'll see at the end of verbs, but again, these are not used by themselves. These have to be attached to something else. Shun indicates to lie or fall down. So if you said like menoshin, it could be like lying comfortably. Or it could be like maybe you're a stuntman, you took a good fall, menoshin. Sun indicates the same thing, but this is with an inanimate object. So maybe it fell, maybe the book fell, or maybe the picture fell, or maybe the picture's lying there on the ground, or the toy's lying there. But just sun would be like it's just there, just sun. And when you see don, non, con, don, or zon at the end, it indicates something. These are usually the endings of what we call VTI verbs, or transitive inanimate verbs. So it's like, it's the end that would let you know, like wabdan, to see it, dapnan, to pick it up, na'ikan, to fix it, biadon, to bring it. You're doing something with it. And when you see, when they end in ma, na, wa, moa, sa, or zoa, a lot of times these would be indicators of an animate verb. So this would be like a VTA type verb where someone animate is acting upon something. So like wabma is the verb to see. No wabma, I see him or her. Go wabma, you see him or her. Mina is the verb to give somebody. Mina. Nodwa is the verb to hear someone. Nijokmoa is the verb to help someone, etc. When you see a we or a we at the end, it indicates to be someone. So like, for example, if you said Mako is a bear, you could say Mako we, he or she is a bear. Or if you wanted to say something like Nebiaget means secretary, you could say Nebiaget we, he or she is a secretary. You can add that we on there. Or Nishnabe we, he or she is native. Nishnabe we. Just kind of a shortened way to indicate he or she is something. Kazo at the end indicates to act or play. This isn't to be confused with kajo, which is a cat, but kazo. So like chikazo is the verb to play. But let's say you're talking about like a possum, how possums kind of play dead. You could use mbo, which is dead, and add that kazo to it, mbokazo, so playing dead, or mbekazo, he or she is pretending to sleep. Migadi kazo, play fighting, maybe like acting like you're fighting. Gode or gojin indicates something's hanging. Gode or gojin. So like, for example, like maybe mino gode, it's hanging good, or you could say something like atwa gojin, it's hanging backwards, kind of upside down. Nagwaze or nagwet means it looks a certain way. If you say mino wab managwet, it looks good or looks beautiful. Mino wab managwet. Mino wab managwaze, he or she looks good. Mino wab managwaze. If you want to say like it looks different, you could say bakan nagwet, it looks different. He looks different, he or she. Bakan nagwaze. When it ends in onye or shkan, indicates like dress. And I don't mean by like a dress you wear, but like dress, like wearing clothes. So like biskonye is to get dressed. Giskonye is to get undressed. Achkonye is to like change clothes. Zagkonye is to wear something scary. And then that shkan you can use as well. And when you see gun or one at the end of a noun in particular, it usually indicates some kind of inanimate object or a thought. So most of our inanimate things end in gun or win. So like dopewin is a table, jeeptawin is a chair. Let me think of some other good ones. Deschigin is a desk. Waskoninjigan is a light. And then if it ends in shkan or shkwa, it's usually something that's being, and remember this has to end with it, something's being acted upon by the foot or the body. So if you said ate shkan, for example, using ate we had before for extinguish, you'd be saying you're extinguishing it with your foot or body. Ate shkan. Maybe you're like putting a cigarette out or putting out something with your foot, like a small brush fire. Ate shkan. If it has B or Bia in it, it indicates a liquid or water, B or Bia. So if I said nambia, that would be underneath the water, nambia. If I said zambia, I drank too much water. Maybe you're getting ready to go on a run or something and you just drank like 5 bottles of water, zambia. And if you see bana or badon at the end, indicates that something is being acted upon with your hands. So if you said like maji badon, if you remember maji was to start, badon with your hands. So you're starting something with your hands, you're turning it on. Maji badon. If you were turning something animate on, like a car, it would be maji bana. Turn something animate on, maji bana. If you said bak badon, open it with your hand, bak badon. Gabak badon, close it with your hand, gabak badon. So again, understanding these endings of words and these front parts can really help you with understanding words that you maybe have not ran into yet, or words that are less common, just understanding some of these parts. Jige indicates something's happening, like an action, like binjige, winjige. Binjige was to clean, winjige, dirty up, manochige, do good things. Aqua at the end indicates woods, like tukwa, tukwa kik. And then that ki or ke or kik is land. Suk indicates a floor or a room. If you said ats jig sabuk, that's not a good example. Let me do it, everyone. If I did like mchisuk, would be like on the floor. Mchisuk, mchisuk. And then kwan indicates kind of that shape of a spoon, that kwan. Same as like a hat. M kwan is a spoon. Wheel kwan is a hat. Nop kwan is a sailboat. It's indicating that shape, like that a sailboat makes, like when the mast is at full kind of wind, or the shape of a spoon, or the shape that a ball cap has that's on your head, that kind of circular type, half circle type shape, that kwan. Onmet indicates wind, onmet. So if you said like gwek onmet, the wind just kind of turned directions, gwek onmet. If you said gaje onmet, like a hot breeze or a warm breeze. If you said whisk onmet, like a strong wind, whisk onmet. Gadazo or gadaze indicates mad. Cow gadaze, like easily mad, like real easy to anger. Cow gadaze. Abo indicates a liquid. You see that on a lot of nouns, like wishkababo, a pop, or nonakne abo, milk, or even in things like soup, like liquidy things, like damnabo, corn soup. You see that abo in there. Apne indicates a sickness or an illness. So like napne could just be some kind of illness or sickness. But if you had, like, let's say you had a bone sickness, like arthritis, you could say kan apne, so a bone sickness like arthritis. Dewapne would be like heart disease. De is your heart. And you could just talk really specific of neshk apne would be like a glandular disease. That apne indicates like a disease or illness. BD wapne would be like chicken pox or chicken disease. BD wapne. Ate. Now when it's at the end, it's a little different than when it was at the front. Remember, at the front, ate indicated like to extinguish or put something out. Now at the back end of a verb, though, it indicates that it's been acted upon by the sun. Ate or aso. Ate would be it was acted on. Aso would be something animate was acted on. So, for example, gajate means it's hot, right? Gajate. Well, the gaja part is indicating like heat. But the ate means that the sun is making it hot. That's why you can't use gajate when you're talking about like the stove. It's gajide when you talk about the stove, something that you're turning on and making it heat. But gajate is heat being caused by the sun. Gajate. Gajate. Bate is something that's like dried up. Bate. Bate shoma would be like a raisin. That ate. That pato at the end, that pato indicates running. Bamupto would be to run by. Bamupto. Numbato, to leave running. You could just make 1,000 different ways with pato. You could say like kitcha bamupto, really run hard, etc. Natuk indicates like made of wood. Natuk. So maybe like dewagen natuk, like a drumstick, something made of wood. Gazo or gade just means kind of like it is something. Gazo or gade. Adze is like a way of living, because bamadze is life. But if you remember that bame indicates like going by, so it's like going by living a certain way. Bamadze. Nadze would be a certain way of life. Nadze. Maybe you're living like a traditional life, or a certain way of living. Nadze. Gamuk indicates like the location or a building. So like if you said wajanda gamuk, you could use that for talking about the kitchen. Or you could say like dabian gamuk. It could be like the garage, the place of the car. Mazinagan gamuk, a library, places of books. When you see a ze or a ze at the end, it indicates like a state of being or a feeling. Zagze means scared, zagze. And shkadze was mad. Lots of zes. Zekwe is to cook something. So if you said Manol zekwe, he or she is a good cook, Manol zekwe. If you said Kukshe zekwe, that's like to cook over the ashes or barbecue. Kukshe zekwe. Sh or je indicates the skin. If you say gazibig she is like to bathe, but literally to wash one's skin. Gazibig she. Mo at the end indicates a sound made with the mouth, like yachmo or madmo, to pray. Yachmo is like to talk. Mo can be just like to cry. So anytime you have that mo at the end. Oda at the end indicates crawling. Oda. So like bamode, to crawl by. Bidode, to crawl inside of something. Mandan or mama indicates a smell. And then kiwin indicates kind of like a land or a landform. Now, just a couple of middle parts of words real quick. So these ones would not be necessarily at the front or the end. They would end up kind of in the middle. And some of the ones that end up at the end could also be in the middle, depending on if it's like a compound word. Boda, to blow on something, boda. Nawa, to shoot, nawa. So you said pachinwa would be like to accidentally shoot, pachinwa. Bodwa, blow on something. Jishkwe, muddy. If you said bog jishkwam get, it's muddy. Jishkwet. Zade, foot or feet, zade. Nukke, arm or arms. Ad, really indicating that living part. Game or gama, water. This would be like a body of water, like an ocean or a lake. Bia or bi, like a liquid or a water. And then ngwe or ingwe, the face or the head. These are a little hard to chop up, but really looking at those front ends and those back ends, those prefixes and suffixes. Again, remember, you don't use them by themselves, but by understanding them a little better, some of these common ones can really help you with understanding words in general and kind of how things work out and what they literally mean. So, miigwech jayak, bamamina.